Hello, this is Alejandro Bratti from Believe in Yourself, Believe in Your Business, and welcome to the Spanish World Networks on Single TV, channel 250 and 251. Please remember to download both the Single TV app on the respective app stores on iOS and Android devices. While you download, make sure to rate and leave a comment. The app is free. Single TV is available in Google Chromecast, Amazon Fire, Roku, and all smart TVs. Today, I am really happy to have Judy. We have had her for a few times in the past, so thank you for being with us today, Judy.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, I know that today is going to be very, very interesting because we are going to be talking about a topic that I love, that it's about how to really help businesses grow. That's something very, very unique. But the important thing is not only to grow, but to start to take out all the overwhelm, all the overthinking that we we start to bring when we start to think about that. So let's start with that, Judy.
Okay. So just for your listeners, what we're going to do today is explore how you can grow your business without being overwhelmed or overworked. And I just want to say part of what we're going to talk about is how you can grow it holistically. Because here we are at the beginning of a new year. And we all make, well, I should say we all. People make resolutions. Business owners also make goals or resolutions or commitments that they're going to grow their business. But the goal of this whole conversation is to explore how can you do that without jeopardizing the other parts of your life. So it'll be a fun conversation, Alejandro.
And really, for example, something that I want to start to talk about specifically what you are saying, goals. When we establish goals, we start to define like, okay, let's see what is my goal for this year, and I can start to say if it's in business, if it's in the personal life, it's like I want to lose 20 pounds or 30 pounds or 10 kilograms, and that is not really a goal. That is just a number that we are saying. But when we start to understand, okay, let's understand what is exactly what you are saying. What is your weight right now? And maybe it's 190 pounds, and you want to be 170.
Mhm.
Okay, let's start to think as a person with 170. Suddenly, if I go to your refrigerator, can I find a 170 pound uh, person, or and the food is going to be for a 170 pound, or is food for a 190 or food for 250? What is what I'm going to find? And when you start to define that, everything starts to change.
Well, you just hit it on the head. There's a whole piece of mindset that is a big part of growing your business or losing weight or changing something that we want to change in our lives. So there's that whole piece of mindset. And I know that's one of your favorite topics.
Exactly.
But what I want to help your audience at least think about as they move into this new year and as they think about where they're going with their businesses or their organizations, because this is the same thing for nonprofits. Nonprofits want to grow, businesses want to grow. That seems to be our innate nature as entrepreneurs. But there's this piece of, I call it the holistic approach. And this is what you were getting to, Alejandro, is that growing your business isn't just about your business. Growing your business is also about growing your life at the same time. And that's where I'm going to just say when I'm working with entrepreneurs and we start talking about growing their business, especially solopreneurs, small business owners, even large corporate businesses, they'll say to me, but I'm so overwhelmed. If I have staff, my staff is already so busy. I'm so busy. I don't have enough hours in the day to get done what needs to be done. And they get kind of stymied, or they pull back when they think about growing the business because they can't think about how can they do it because they are already working to their max.
Mm.
And so then we've got to start peeling, I call it peeling the the layers of the onion and find out what's that baseline right now, first of all. And you brought it with the weight. If you want to get from 190 to 170, you've got to figure out what's happening at the 190 level and what would be the conditions at the 170 level. And then your mindset comes into play there in terms of all of a sudden once you commit, and that's a piece of growing your business is committing, your subconscious starts to go to work and starts moving you along the path to grow.
Exactly.
And it's that power of the subconscious, but it's really getting clear on what you want and how can you do this holistically. And I keep bringing that up because over the years of me working with clients in that strategy arena where they want to grow their business, they will just say to me, I want to do it. First of all, I don't exactly know how. That's one piece of it, but that's a piece that can get solved. The other piece is they'll say the overwhelm and overworked, and that can get addressed. But they don't often think about how can they do this and keep the other parts of their life functioning. And that's what I mean by holistic. Grow your business and grow your life, which is just perfect with your logo and I'm going to say the motto for your program here, believe in yourself, believe in your business, because it's very similar. Grow your business, grow your life. And it makes a difference how you start out to approach growing your business from that angle. If you're just, I'm just going to say in the past, not just think probably 8-10 years ago, growing your business was all about growing your business. And you didn't think about the other aspects of your life. It was okay if you spent all your time on your business, all your energy, and said, okay, for this amount of time, this is what my life is going to be, is growing my business. And quite frankly, I can share with your listeners that what that results in is I have seen major health issues develop. I've seen relationships that become either strained or end up being dissolved. I've seen children being left out of the picture of having a relationship with the business owner, the mom or the dad. And in the end, and this is the reason I'm so, I would say, adamant and excited about this, because if we as business owners want to grow and contribute, that's a whole reason for a business, is contributing to whatever that passion is that we have. But if we do that to the detriment of others, we're first of all not totally contributing, and take it back to the perspective of the individual business owner. You've spent all this energy, time, money, building an organization that in the case of either your health, that whole organization, business could be lost if you're not healthy, or your assets, I'm going to just call it financial assets, could be totally divided between you and a significant other, your partner, your spouse, when things don't work out in a relationship. And so it behooves us as business owners to, I'm going to say, protect our asset, which is our business, by paying attention not only to growing the business, but paying attention to holistically growing the other aspects of our life, because that protects our asset.
So I have a comment and a question here, just to open the door for everybody, because I know that each time that we are trying to reach a goal, you focus a lot on that goal and you forget about other stuff. What you are saying here is something that I also teach, is how you can start to be aware about all the things that are happening around your life, not only your business. Your business is one of them, and it's important. And we are talking about to improve that goal and to be sure that you can accomplish that goal, but being aware that there is other things. So one thing that I want to take out of the mind, and I want to hear also your comments on this, is that we are always looking for balance, and that is a very nice word to say. But the reality is that having balance is something not reachable.
What, right. And, you and I have had this conversation several times that I prefer the word harmony instead of balance.
Exactly.
And the reason is because, balance implies that everything is of equal importance. Equal, there's an equality there. But our day-to-day lives and the world just doesn't work like that. Is it's like this teeter-totter. Some days something else is important, the next day something else is more important. And we've got to be able to design our lives, because that's what this is all about. I mean, we develop a game plan for our business, we need to develop a game plan for our life, and the business is just one piece of it. But the balance word creates more stress in my clients than it just adds to their burden, because
Exactly.
they try to achieve balance, and the whole concept of work-life balance is just one more thing they put on their backs that they have to achieve, and it's
Yeah, and
totally
just
not
get
achievable.
frustrated because of that, feeling that you can reach it and you are a bad person because you can do it.
Because you can't, exactly. And I've got clients who feel that it's just that they're not able to achieve it, and so it's one more piece of stress they have to deal with. But
Yeah.
harmony, to achieve harmony's achievable, but you have to get clear on what are your fundamental values, what are those core values that guide your decisions and actions. And once you get clear on that, then you have that flexibility to evaluate when something comes along, like say a sick child, and maybe your core value, you've decided your family is a very high priority core value. So when a sick child comes along, you just realize, and you just know, okay, I have a role here in either taking care of my child or finding care for the child.
Mm.
And you don't stress about it like you would if you hadn't already been clear on the fundamental value there.
Mm.
So, and there's all different types of core values. It's not just family. But once you get clear on those, it makes deciding and acting in your life so much easier, and in your business, because
So
that's
there
one
is
of my.
some, and that's another thing, and let's talk about the same thing, but in another perspective. When we are talking about goals, we are talking about I want to have a growth and something in one area, but
Mhm.
always when you are growing in one area, maybe another area is being impacted always. Something you improve in something, I just start to be more fit because I am doing more exercise, but I am losing time with my family because I have to put that time to be fit and do exercises. So that is something part of what is happening.
Right. Okay. So take the example of the exercise. And in a day, we all have 24 hours, and that's it. We don't have 25 hours.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you get really clear on your core values, and obviously health is one of your values, and for business owners, it's a significantly, incredibly valuable value to have, because if you're not healthy, you can't be effective in your business. You
Yeah.
can't be effective in your personal life either. But maintaining your health and taking steps to stay healthy or get healthier is crucial. So then you got to start to think about, okay, 24 hours a day. I have to sleep some hours. I have to work my business some hours. I have to say hello, goodbye to my family. I have other obligations. And so it's like mapping out your day at work.
Mm.
I'm certain most of your listeners are very highly concerned about productivity. If you're a business owner, you're concerned about productivity. Even if you're not a business owner, you are typically, because that's how you get things done. And it's the same thing, trying to figure out where are all those different pieces of what I value. How are they going to fit into my 24 hours? Now, some things may not fit in every day. Certainly sleep. Hopefully a family meal does. You've got certain things, certain hours that you assign to work. But there's these things like even our own personal development. That has to fit in somewhere in the course of, let's just say, a week.
Mm.
Your exercise fits in somewhere in the course of a week. And so part of it is figuring out what are those fundamental core values? And then how does my day-to-day activity manifest those values? And so if you have a value about being healthy, then your exercise is manifesting that.
Mm.
And, goals, you brought up the word goals. And it's the beginning of the new year. And it's like people get so either turned off by the word goals or they get really excited. There doesn't seem to be any middle ground.
Yeah.
And, that could be a whole program in and of itself is goals. And all the, I'm going to say the feelings and the stress that comes from having a goal. Because that produces stress too. So moving towards goals is a real ongoing process. And there's tips and tricks to help you do that. But I don't want to get into those right now if that's not where you want to go with this. That's a true topic for a whole new program.
No, I know. And we are talking about growth and starting the year and talking about goals and understanding how to improve that. We have some comments from Roberto Manuel here. I agree with Judy, values are key. And I am really sure that we as individuals are pushing the right visibility and importance to help. Well, I don't have the whole picture. I don't know why this is not showing the whole.
I
Why?
can only see part of it.
Yeah.
Why do you think we lose track?
We lose track of something as important as this?
Okay, now I couldn't see the sentence up above that, but part of the reason we lose track is, first of all, there's a process to keeping goals, core values, your priorities. I call them in business, I call them key strategic initiatives. And there's a process to keeping them forefront in your mind, in your visibility, in the day-to-day of your business or your life. And so part of it is writing them down, putting them in a place where you see them every single day. And then when a day goes really well, journal about what really went well. When a day doesn't go well, journal about what didn't go well. And I don't mean you have to sit down and write pages and pages. Bullets work good, just keywords, whatever it is, so that you can start to see a pattern. And you'll begin to be able to tell, okay, when these things went well, what was I doing? What kind of a mindset might I have been in? What extraneous things were forcing me to perhaps get distracted or pulled me away? Because that's what I mean about when we do a business, when you grow a business, you got to be focused on also growing your life, is it has to be holistic. And we have to give ourselves permission to understand and accept that life sometimes throws us curveballs that get in our way. And when that happens, it depends on what the curveball is. Because some curveballs you don't have any control over. Like if you have a sick child or an aging parent who all of a sudden has a major health issue that pulls you away. That's all just part of life. And that is still part of growing your business, whether we want to theoretically talk about it like that or not.
Yeah.
And I guess that's what I would like your listeners to understand, is that growing your business doesn't have to be exactly by the theory that's taught in a business school. And I don't mean any disrespect to business school curriculum at all, because it's incredibly valuable and provides a basis for us. But life isn't a curriculum. There's things that come up that just you have to deal with and that are just as important at that moment as you performing to your top notch in your business. And that's where the stress comes in, is that people get so focused on growing their business and then life throws them this curveball and they have to either step away from their business for maybe it's a day, maybe it's a couple weeks, and stress mounts. And part of the reason that I'm going to say, such a proponent of this holistic approach is because of stress. I see so many business owners that I'm working with that are so stressed when I start working with them that it has impacted their health, and it impacts their ability to make decisions, and it's impacted their family relationships. And we can get to a point if we think about this as a whole, not as a business and a family or business and my hobbies. We can think about it as a whole and design the game plan. When you design your game plan for your business, you also need to be considering, how is this impacting my life? How many hours a day can I spend here if I have young children? How many hours a day can I spend here and still be healthy? There's all those pieces that get woven into it.
So one thing that I do, for example, when we are understanding life coaching, you have this circle of life that you can
Right.
see like different aspects that it's exactly what you are talking. Let's
Yes.
do the circle of life for your business. So, and that has to be assigned specifically with each person what is specifically good for you, because for me can be health and for you can be another thing. So I started to understand what are your values and is your circle of life for your business. Uh,
Well, think about that circle of life. And if your listeners don't know about it, it has like a pie shape for all the important aspects of your life. Now, when I've seen people using the circle of life, they haven't put in business. They have an element for work, but it also needs maybe a different little sliver if you're a business owner. Because a business owner has a whole
Not a little
different,
one, several
it's a
ones.
big one.
Because at the end, the business owner sometimes is doing marketing, doing
Exactly.
like 10 different things. So at the end, understanding all the things that you are doing as a business owner. And for you, it's one thing. For me, it's another one. So understanding as business owners, what are the key elements for you? And
Well,
not a little one, a big one.
well, I've seen it where and I use it in my Strength in the Harmony course, but that's because we're working typically with individuals who are not business owners. But business owners are such a unique breed of cat that we have a hard time turning off the thoughts about our business. Typically I can think about my business while I'm cleaning up the kitchen, or if we're out to a social event and somebody brings up something that, oh, yeah, gee, I got to remember to contact that person. That's like our business is in our mind, even in the back of our mind, 24 hours a day. And that's one of the things that as a business owner, we need to work on, because there's times we have to kind of shut it off and be fully present, like with our family. Or if you have children, turn off the business piece and be fully present. And that's a mindset technique that we all need more proficiency at, let's say, because it's really hard to be fully present.
Yeah. So let's start to talk a little bit about some of the keys, or I know that the course and everything that you are going to create for this, it's something big, but just give some glimpses of the things that you work with them during
Or are you
uh,
talking about the webinar
the
and
webinar. Yeah.
in the course? Okay, well, I've got some tips to give them as part of our program here, but I have even more tips in the webinar that's coming up next Tuesday, January 17th at 11 a.m. Central Time. And the title of that webinar is called How to Grow Your Business in 2023 Without Becoming Overwhelmed or Overworked. And I have 7 tips in that webinar that I'll share with you. And like I said, I got some tips today to share, but I have others to share next Tuesday. So join me then, along with, continuing to listen to this program.
Yes. So For everybody, if you want to join the webinar, it's free for next week, Tuesday. The link is bit.ly/growbiz,
Cool.
grow BIC 23. So, and really, the heart behind this is to start to help you with all the idea that Judy is talking about, how to learn to grow holistically. And really, the most important thing about growing holistically is that if you have a problem in your house, even when you are trying to avoid it because I have to focus in my goals in growing, and you are fighting with your wife because of any reason, that is taking so much energy from
Yeah.
you that really even trying to have your goal like of growth and everything will be impacted because you have a lot of energy even in the subconscious or here behind, and that's exactly what you are talking about here.
Exactly. And you just explained it so well, Alejandro. Is long ago it used to be we separated out our business from our life and we lived in these silos. But that's not the most effective way to go through life. And now it's more accepted to have this, I'm going to say, kind of the homogeneous style of dealing with your life, that one aspect of your life impacts the other. And you said it so well that if you have an issue going on in your personal life, it takes your focus, it takes your energy, it adds stress to whatever stress you already might have in your business, and you don't perform at your maximum capacity. Now, you might think you are, but you're not. So, when we talk about growing your business, we all put just really careful thought into that. We need to do the same thing on the other side of the coin, that we need to pay careful attention and plan. How do we grow our life? Our personal life, meaning just you, plus whatever else you have outside of your business. Some of us have families, some of us have children, some of us have adult children that we're still interacting with, some of us have aging parents. Some of us don't have that, but we have other things in our life. So, conscious thought about all of that outside your business as much as the conscious thought that you give inside your business.
Mm.
And it's really, it takes a commitment is what it's all about. Some people call that an intention. I just call it a commitment because commitment means more to me just because of the way I guess I was raised. So whatever that word is that means the most to you, it's about really becoming aligned and saying, yes, this is important.
And also a responsibility at the end, because understanding that it's inside of you.
Yes.
Eh, because I can be starting to, oh no, I don't see the growth. So it's because Judy didn't teach me well. And really what we are talking here is not about that. Judy is giving you tools, giving you strategies to implement it. And let me give you an example quickly right now that can help to understand. I was talking last week with a friend that he was telling me, when I was in first grade at school, I was like doing some a painting that the teacher asked, and really my painting was horrible, like so horrible that the teacher told me, xxx, you have to dedicate your life to another thing, not really this, because this is not your thing. You don't have any talent for painting. And there was another friend at his side that painted something amazing uh, for at 7 years old. I am talking about at 7 years old. And he paints something good enough and very nice and very good. The problem with my friend was that since first grade until maybe 35 years old, he always thought that he was very bad at painting because the teacher said that.
Mhm.
But suddenly there was a person that was like amazed about the nature, and he was in nature with this person, and she told him like, let's do some painting because this painting that we have in front of us is amazing. Let's do some painting. And he was like, no, 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 no. I am so bad that I don't want to teach it. And I don't, no, I am going to teach you. And she started to teach him some strategies, how to do it better. So how you divide this and start to do this and this and this. And suddenly after 30 minutes, he had a very good painting.
Wow.
Maybe not as talented as the first grader that maybe he has the talent to do it. But what we are talking here is when you have the strategies to do it, you can do it as good or or better than a talented person.
Right. It's all about your own commitment to this. It's about what do you want out of your life? And business is a piece of your life. As
And do you
is,
have the strategies to do it?
yes, strategies. And that's, that's what comes into what I'm going to call the business theory. But there's all kinds of pieces that we can apply to our personal lives also. So I'm
Okay.
just looking at this next comment here.
This was the one that we were trying
Oh, that we were talking about.
to guess.
Yep.
Yeah.
We talked about losing track. Write it down, keep it in front of you.
Yes, exactly. So let's start to, and if anybody that is in the audience wants to ask for something, you can put it in the chat, and we are more than welcome to continue talking about this. We have another 20 minutes more or less to finish the program.
Okay, so
Yeah.
here's something I want to share, and this is a piece of the whole reason why this is so significant for me, having worked with business owners and leaders, is that it's the stress piece that I see when I'm working with a client. Typically when we first start working, they use those words: overwhelmed, overworked, I am so stressed. And then things will get a little better, but then something comes along and again, there's more stress. And stress is such a debilitating emotion to feel. I call it an emotion. There's probably a better term than emotion for the people who are truly trained in stress management. But I want to just share some statistics with your listeners here that 77% of people experience stress to the level where it affects their health.
Wow.
And that one just caught me really by surprise. I didn't realize it was that high. I see it. I see how it manifests with business owners. But if you're a business owner and you're wanting to grow your business, you don't need more stress added on, and you don't need your health impacted. Stress gets added on when things outside of your business aren't going so well, or when things inside your business aren't going so well. There's stress, because stress is a factor of life. And there's a certain type of stress that motivates us. And then there's this other type of stress that is debilitating. And so I just wanted to share that statistic. And I've got two other ones that 73% of people experience stress to the level where it impacts their mental health.
Mm.
Now if we had more time, and maybe this is a different topic for a different program, how you define mental health could be very broad, because there's times when stress does impact your ability to either think clearly, or you become depressed, or you're anxious. So all those things could be grouped under mental health. And then 48% of people experience stress to the point where it causes them to lose sleep, or they're not sleeping well. And sleep is an incredibly important part of staying healthy. And staying healthy is an incredibly important part of growing your business. So the stress piece enters into all of this. And when you start to think about your life holistically, and you get clear on the core values, and you approach your life outside your business with the same type of planning and care that you do inside your business, your stress can get reduced. You can be more effective.
And something that is important with what you are saying is, for example, 90% of the illnesses and sicknesses that we have comes from stress. So imagine
Right.
So
And
you're
then when
like
you,
about the stress, and people can be like, yeah, I can manage a stress and I'm okay. And yeah, I know right now, but if you keep with that stress for so long, stress is part of what how we were created as humans. We were created with this switch to have stress and be able to do some special things for a short period of time, but
right,
not for a long period of time. And when you are having stress for long periods of time, you start to have some sicknesses that you don't know, and you are like, I don't know why I have even this cancer. If I put
exactly.
it something, not only the mental health, but a lot of the illnesses and sicknesses that we start to have,
Yes.
90% of them comes from stress,
Yes.
having long-term stress.
Well, stress impacts your cellular level. You know, on a day-to-day basis, we don't really even think about that typically. We just know we're stressed and we keep on going. But when you are stressed, your cellular level is being affected, and that is causing certain types of diseases, illnesses, whatever. So when I brought this up, you know, the holistic piece helps to resolve stress for you as the business owner. But when you start to think about growing your business, perhaps you have employees. Maybe you've got a lot of employees, maybe you've got a few, or maybe you don't even have any, but you might be using independent contractors, you know, people to do just project work for you, and they're not really on your staff. But stress impacts all of them as well. So when you're thinking about growing your business, there's also needs to be attention paid to what is causing stress within the business, because that impacts the people in your business as well as you. And that impacts your healthcare costs if you're providing healthcare benefits. And so it's kind of this, I don't want to say circuitous thing, but it just kind of keeps on growing. So if we can get to the root cause, it can solve a lot of other side issues that might be bubbling in your business and
Yeah.
impeding growth, because stress impacts productivity. It impacts people. If you have employees, people who want to come to work and show up, it's just an ongoing problem.
So just for people to remember, we are talking about a webinar that is going to be on Tuesday, next Tuesday. In
Mhm.
order to register, we are putting the link below. If you didn't get it because I spelled it wrong or whatever, it's there. bit.ly/growbiz23. So you can go to that link and register. It's for free.
It
It's a
is free.
webinar to continue talking about this, and, and I want to emphasize the importance of what Judy is talking here, because really not having, like, not understanding how is your will, and not understanding how to move that will, because you create this little pie, like the circle of life that I
Mhm.
was talking, and that's what happens if you have like lines that, and your circle is really a square. At the end, moving that square is much difficult. It's difficulter than trying to move a circle. So
So let's just give them that little example of they can just draw a circle. If they have a piece of paper, just draw a circle right now and divide it into at least 4 quadrants. There's probably more. Think about the aspects of your life that are important to you. Like typically it's family, business, if you're the business owner. If you're not a business owner, it's work, health, finances, or financial, whatever you want to call that piece of the pie. Just, you know, make out pieces of the pie. Spirituality is also another piece. What is your grounding fundamental belief, if you have one?
yeah.
Um, I don't know if there's other pieces you'd want to suggest, Alejandro.
No, and with that, start to think about from 1 to 10. How are you at this moment?
Right, at this very moment, because now this is a piece that correlates to business. If you fill in this pie and you evaluate the different pieces of the pie that relate to your life, you just rate where are you right now? Is it a 1, a 2, a 3? whatever. Just draw a line or shade it in. And what you've just done is you've created the baseline for where you are right now. And in business, we use baseline as a starting point for, and let's just call it assessing as we move forward. So we need to know baseline. So if you're starting to think about looking at your life holistically, then filling in this pie with all the different segments of your life and evaluating those becomes your baseline. And then from there, you can begin to make decisions about which one is working well, which one's not. How are you going to address that?
And another thing that I will recommend because we are talking about business and how to grow your business, start to divide that part of business, for example, and you have that area of business and start to think about 4 or 5 topics that you know that are important for your business. Okay, operation is one. Operation has to be working. If not, it's going to be very difficult. Having marketing, some type of marketing to bring new customers and keep the ones that you have. It's another one. Like the sales part, you have to have sales to be sure that you continue having business, and maybe support. Let's do it very simple.
Right. You need, well, the sales would be part of attracting the clients or selling the products. Yeah, keep it real simple, but you can do that same process for your business.
And you have those four areas, and suddenly you start to think like, okay, let me see. I have very good sales, but I am very bad at operations. Or I am normally, if you're a solopreneur, you are very good at operations, but in the selling and the marketing is like I am not that good. So seeing that even visually can help you to start to understand why the circle or the wheel is not really working, because there is some areas that are so low that you need to focus on them to really start to grow your business.
So could we take a couple seconds and talk about solopreneurs? Because solopreneurs have a really unique challenge and opportunity, though, because you can build a business as a solopreneur and not have anybody ever really in your business as an employee, but you could still have providers, is what I call them. Or in my business, I call them project teams. But solopreneurs really I think they may feel the stress of growing their business differently than somebody who's already taken the steps and has either teams or has a staff. Because for the solopreneur, there's this like bubble, is what I call it. A bubble is, how do you get over the bubble where you can actually hire somebody to help take some of the workload off? And the question I always hear is, oh yeah, I need somebody that can take some of this off my plate, but I don't have the money to hire somebody. And they get themselves caught in that catch-22. And so they can't grow their business to make an abundance of sales so they can hire somebody, because they're still doing all the work themselves. And that causes the stress. But there are ways to get help that either doesn't cost anything or doesn't cost a lot of money. I mean, certainly you don't want to have, you're not at a point as a solopreneur where you might be able to hire a full-time employee and provide them benefits. But there's ways to get help without having to go to that extent. I mean, we all know there's bartering. If you want to barter with somebody who has a skill set that could benefit you, that's one way. But then there's interns, and there's, high school students who you could hire at a lower rate possibly than an experienced person. So solopreneurs have that slightly different experience than people that have already gone on and have either project teams or have employees. And the stress of trying to get out of that situation causes them to sometimes throw the
Yeah,
towel in.
maybe the biggest difference between a solopreneur and a small or big company is that the solopreneur has 10 or 20 hats,
Hats,
depending on what area they
right?
have to be focusing at that moment. But even with this tool that we are talking about, you can start, if you start to create all the hats that you are managing or you are supposed to manage, but you don't have time to do it, suddenly you can start to understand why the wheel is not working, why is having a lot of bumps in the process.
Right. And you said a word that just caught my ear, supposed to, or we get hung up on the shoulds. I should be doing this, or I'm supposed to be doing this. Is that you, as the business owner, whether you have a large organization, a medium organization, or you're a solopreneur, you get to define what it is you're going to be doing. And if there's a function that you don't want to do or that you're not good at, then find a way to get somebody, if you, especially if you're a solopreneur, who can do it within whatever constraints you have. And there's all kinds of opportunities out there. I mean, I'll just tell you a short little story about me. Back in the day when I was creating one of my websites, and this is way, way back, I had learned Dreamweaver, I had learned Joomla, and I was still struggling. And I was so stuck, and I didn't have the dollar resources to hire a web designer, which is why I was learning those programs in the first place. I finally threw in the towel and I called the high school. I said, "Do you have any kids who are really good at web design?" And I talked to a teacher. I don't even know what class she was teaching, but it was somewhere in the technology field. She said, "Oh yeah, I got a couple of guys that are really whizzes at that." And I said, "Well, would they be interested in working with me to get?" At that point, I needed some graphics. I needed a sidebar, and I was just stuck. "Oh yeah, let me talk to them." And son of a gun, these two young men, I call them young men, they were probably juniors in high school at the time. They not only built out my website, which was such a godsend, they went on and started an IT business and built all kinds of other websites. So look around. If you're a solopreneur and you need help, there's ways to get some.
Yes.
Because
So,
not getting the help you need causes stress. And that
yes.
impacts your ability to grow your business. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
So next Monday, Tuesday, you will have this webinar. It's going to be this. You can go at this link.
Right,
You are also creating a course that I know that is going to be launching very soon.
right.
Talk talk to us in the next 2 minutes because
Two
we are at
minutes,
the end of
okay.
the
I
program.
got 2 minutes. Okay, the course is called Accelerate Your Business Growth Using Strategic Planning, a Simple 7-Step Process. And the course launches on January 24th. And there'll be information, if you come to the webinar, there'll be information in the webinar about the course and how you could sign up for that and register. The course is designed to walk you through the full strategic planning process. But I've taken that whole process and I've used it with my clients for years, and I have customized it specifically for small business owners, solopreneurs. So it is not theoretical. You don't need to know the theory. It is all about doing the steps that I'll share with you. And there's worksheets, think sheets to help you think yourself through the strategy piece, the strategic thinking that needs to happen. And by the end, it's a 6-week course. It's online. It's going to be on Tuesdays at 11 a.m. And at the end of the 6 weeks, you'll have your strategic plan for 2023 and probably into 2024, because some of your key strategic initiatives will be broader than 1 year, I'm sure. So that course is coming up, and it's such fun to do that with people and see the progress, see them get a plan, and then the progress they can make.
So I highly recommend you to go to the webinar if you are experiencing any of the stress that we have been talking and experiencing, like, okay, understanding about being holistical, that will be very interesting, very different.
There's
Or
tips.
or if you start to create your wheel and start to see that there is a lot of bumps in your business, and you don't know why those bumps are not really flowing the way they have to be flowing, this course and this webinar are going to be for you. So really thank you, Judy, for this opportunity this time.
Can I give them two or three tips? Do we have time for 30
Yeah.
seconds maybe? Okay, here's some tips that you could just start to consider. Keep perfectionism in check, because perfectionism can become you can stop by just trying to be a perfectionist. We talked about hiring or finding independent contractors, and then make your health a priority, because if you're not healthy, you're not at your best, and it'll be really challenging for you to have the energy to grow your business. And then the last one is network with other business owners. You can commiserate or celebrate with them, whichever way you're feeling on a certain day. But network, because they've got good ideas and they can be a support system for you.
So thank you, Judy. This time was really amazing, and thank you all that has been here with us today. We will continue growing next week, talking about more about growth of your business. So come to this program next week and continue learning how to grow your business and how to grow your life, because at the end it's not about only one thing but everything.
Well, and
Uh,
thank you for having me, Alejandro. I really appreciate it. And I hope to see some of you at the webinar.
Yeah, see you next Tuesday. So this show can also be heard on the Spanglish Radio Network. Please check out SpanglishWorld.ca for all the news and programming. Spanglish World, watch it, hear it, read it, download it, and leave it. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay.